So I'll be teaching cost accounting, and this is the first lecture. So we will discuss the first chapter. Yesterday we have discussed the syllabus of cost accounting. Today we will start the first chapter, that is totally a theory chapter. So the first thing is cost. Okay, so what exactly is the meaning of cost? We actually calculate the cost of different things on daily basis. Okay, whenever we suppose, for example, you got a project. Okay, you got a project from your university. So you actually buy a lot of things. There are different color papers, and interleaf papers are there. So you actually buy a lot of things, and finally when you buy these things, after making your project, you actually determine what exactly is the cost of making this project. In the same way, what happens in factories and anywhere, people actually buy different resources to make or to produce anything. We actually To make anything, we actually need what? uh, एक सेकेंड आई थिंक मेरा इंटरनेट कनेक्शन. Am I audible to everyone? Okay, okay. Now is it visible to everyone? Is it okay? Okay. So again, I'm explaining. So what we do to actually, whenever we produce something, okay, so we estimate what exactly cost we have incurred to produce it. Okay, for example, you got a project from your university. So to make a project, you need different things such as cover paper, color pencils, pen, and different types of things are there which you need to make a project. So after making your project, you estimate what exactly cost you have incurred to produce this particular project. In the same way, what happens in companies, in there are many manufacturing units. So when they produce different things, so they estimate what exactly cost they have incurred. So to produce something, we need different type of resources. If we'll take an example of a cookies. Okay, so to make a cookies, we need oil is there, we need flour, we need dry fruits, we need sugar. So these are some raw materials we want. And not only that, we also need some labor who actually know the art of cooking, who actually know how to bake the cookies. So in this way, there are various resources which we need. So if we are hiring some laborers, we have to pay something to the laborers because the person is doing the work for us. So in this way, we actually incur the cost to produce something. Understood? So whatever cost, whatever amount we are spending to produce a particular unit of thing or a particular thing, it is called cost. Okay, it is called cost. Just like the same example which I have given, cookies. So to make the cookies, there are different resources we need. Okay, it's not like that कि cookies है तो फिर घर पे बनाओगे. When you are making it in a bulk, then you need a place. Either you will take the place on rent, so फिर you have to pay the rent, you also have to pay the electricity bill, you also have to make the arrangement for the laborers, you also have to buy the machineries, you also have to make the arrangement for the machineries and all that. So these are the costs which we incur in order to produce something. So all those amount, all those expenditures we do in order to produce a particular commodity, then it is called a cost. Okay, understood? So here a definition given according to J.L. Hansen, the cost of producing a certain output of a commodity is sum total of all the payments to the factors of production engaged on the production of that commodity. So what are the factors of production? So all the land, labor, capital, all things. That means to produce cookies, we need some raw material, we need laborers, we need land, all these things. So whatever cost we have incurred, whatever cost we have paid to these factors of production in order to make the cookies, that is called cost. Okay, so to produce something, whatever amount we incur is called cost. Now the second term is costing. Now we are discussing only the terms. So the second term is costing. What exactly is costing? So it is just a technique, or you can say it's a process of ascertaining a cost. Okay, when we produce something, when we make something, we actually ascertain, okay, for 10 rupees we bought this, for 10 rupees we bought this, for 20 rupees we bought this, for 50 rupees. So ultimately, to prepare this particular thing, we have incurred rupees 60. Understood? Or we have incurred 150, 130. So in this way, the calculation of it is called costing. So costing is nothing, it is just a technique or a process of ascertaining the cost. But there is no particular rule and regulations to for this technique, that is costing. But on the other hand, if I talk about cost accounting, that is not different from costing, but definitely has a definite principle and rules and regulations. Okay, so this is the difference between costing and cost accounting that we will also discuss. For now, you people only need to understand costing is just a simple technique of ascertaining how much cost we have incurred to produce something. Now, for costing, there is no specific rules and regulation. So, informally, whenever we calculate the cost, it is called costing. But if I talk about cost accounting, then it is also a technique or a process of, ascertaining what exactly cost we have incurred to produce something. But the thing is here, a particular, there is a proper rules and regulations are there, there is a proper law. Okay, and mostly in big manufacturing companies, this accounting is used. Okay, so if you will read this, so cost accounting is a quantitative method, it's not a qualitative method, it's a quantitative method wherein we calculate different things. So we classify, record, ascertain, allocate, apportionment, summarization and reporting of certain or probable cost of product or service. So what exactly we do in cost accounting? So first of all, we classify the things. So what we do, for example, the amount which we have incurred only for raw material. Okay, so we will classify. So suppose we have incurred rupees 100 to make one packet of cookies. Okay, so how much we have incurred? Rupees 100 to make one packet of cookies. Now the thing is, we will classify. Okay, so we have paid 20 rupees to the laborers. We have paid 10 rupees for electricity bill. We have incurred 20 rupees as a rent. We have bought the raw materials for rupees 30. So in this way, we will classify, we will make different cost centers, we will make different groups, and we will classify how much cost is incurred, and then we will record accordingly. Okay, when you people will study the cost sheet, now then you people will understand why is it necessary. I'm telling you why is it necessary. See, for example, if the cost of making for the same amount of cookies is now increased by 10 rupees or maybe 5 rupees, so we have to check how this cost increased. Okay, so if there will be no classification for anything, so what will happen? We have to check entire things. But what is the benefit of classification? Suppose we have classified that rupees 30 we have incurred for raw material, rupees 10 we have incurred for electricity bill, and in this way. So we can easily identify, if we will check and we found that only 5 rupees is increased because of the increase in price of raw material, so we can easily get it exactly what is the reason of increase in the cost. That's why classification is important. So ultimately what we do in cost accounting, we first of all calculate the cost. To calculate the cost, we classify it in different groups, and then we ascertain what exactly is the cost, and on the basis of that we also decide how much should be the price of the product. Okay, for example, our target is to at least gain 10% profit or 10 rupees profit per packet. So when the amount the cost we have calculated is 10 rupees, sorry, 100 rupees per packet. So what should be the price of the product? It should be 110 rupees or more. Understood? So this is one thing, but still we will discuss what are the objective of cost accounting. So for now only we can say that cost accounting is nothing. It is also a technique of ascertaining cost, but it is a very formal technique of ascertaining cost, wherein we classify the things, we record the things, and finally we ascertain the cost of producing a particular product. Now, just I mentioned that what is the difference between the costing and cost accounting. Here the difference is clearly given. So here you can see it is a technique of ascertaining cost. It is also a technique, but the thing is, it is formal. My screen is not visible. Is it visible to everyone? No. Wait, wait. Now is it visible? Okay, okay. So see, what is the first difference between costing and cost accounting? So here you can see that costing is also is a technique of ascertaining cost, but the difference is cost accounting is a formal accounting system. Okay, it is there is a proper system wherein we record the cost and ascertain what exactly is the cost. The next difference is here the process is not defined clearly. That means you can either arithmetically calculate, or there is no proper statement or anything which you need to make to in order to ascertain a cost. Just the example we took just before 5 minutes. In that example, we have ascertained the cost of preparing one project. So do you think that you people need to make a statement, then you have to classify, okay, this is the stationery product, for that I need this much, this is for printing, I actually spend this much. So you don't do this because there is no one to whom you people are accountable. Okay, if there is your boss and you are accountable to your boss, then you need to prepare a proper cost sheet. But since you are ascertaining the cost for yourself, not for anyone to whom you are accountable, so you don't need to make it. Okay, now in case of cost accounting, proper detailed cost accounting should be there, statement should be there, everything should be there, so that the cost should be ascertained. Okay, next is, here the general accounting principles are not followed. Why in cost? Since it is an informal way of ascertaining the cost, so why they will follow any accounting principle? But here, yes, general accounting principle are mandatory. Yes, it is mandatory. It is necessary. The next difference is costing is part of cost accounting in the sense that cost calculation and profit determination are also done in it, particularly when the formal mechanism is used. See, it is something, we calculate the cost, we estimate the profit, we determine the profit. So in when we prepare the statements, when we actually use the cost accounting, that time also informally we do it. It's not necessary that all the time we will do it. So costing is also part of cost accounting. Why? Because when we are preparing the cost accounting or the cost statement, that time also we do it informally sometimes. Okay, that means for example, I today I want to calculate something, so roughly I did it this way, and here it is a part of actually cost accounting. So this difference is quite similar. Next, the definition is given, what is cost accounting. Same, it is same. Next is cost center. Okay, so what is cost center? Achha, first of all, tell me, have you all understood till the difference between costing and cost accounting? Okay. The next thing we will discuss is cost center. Cost center. So cost center is actually, you know what happens? There are different departments in big manufacturing units. There are different departments for product, for service, to manage the laborers, to manage the person who actually is the head of a particular department. So there are different departments or sectors, you can say. So this is known as cost centers. That means if we are incurring the cost, so in different departments, how much cost we are incurring. So it is a group of these uh, centers. Okay, so for example, if I talk about only person, so there are different types of person. One is the person who are actually directly involved in making the cookies. The another person is the one who there is a team who tastes the cookies. There is another team who decides its packaging and what flavors we can add. So there are different kind of person. So we will make a group of it. These are cost centers. Understood? So for particularly these, how much cost we are incurring. So there are subdivisions also, and there is a group also. This is called cost center. Understood? So cost center may be classified in two categories. One is production and the another one is service. See what happens, production and service, these two are different things. Production means all those things that are involved in the preparation of it. Okay, production, if we take the same example of cookies, so whatever things, whatever cost we have incurred to prepare the cookies, that is one cost center, or you can classify it as production cost center. While the service cost center means if we have advertised the cookies, if we have sent it to other departments or other locations, we have managed those who manage the transport facility, those who manage the customer care, those who are responsible for advertising, those who are responsible for all these things. So this, you can say that service cost center. Okay, one is production cost center, another one is service cost center. In the same way, operation cost and process cost, this is also same. In case of manufacturing, it is quite different. Okay, so to manage the entire process to make a cookies, there are different process, such as the first stage is to procure the raw material. The second stage is to prepare the raw material, just like cutting the dry fruits and making the dough. These are the preparing of the raw materials. The third process is baking the, or sorry, shaping the cookies, or adding all the flavors and things in the cookies. The fourth part is baking. So these are the process. Okay, so in this way, how much cost we have incurred for different process. So this will be called process cost center. Okay. So we have discussed what is cost centers. Now, why we need the cost centers? What is actually the reason behind making different cost centers, and we ascertain the cost according to different cost centers. So uh, see what happens. For example, suddenly the sale of cookies reduced. We got the information from the market that suddenly the sale of the cookies reduced. Now I will have to check how this happened. Okay, so there are different centers. One is responsible for production, one is for packaging, one is for advertising, one is for different things. So whom I will ask this question, why the sale is reducing. Maybe I'll ask this question to the advertising team, those who are responsible for advertising. I may ask this question to the person who actually is responsible to taste the cookies. Okay, so different responsibilities are assigned to different group of people. So once this responsibility is given to a particular person, so it will be easier for us to identify the problem and also easier for us to point out exactly who is the reason or because of which the problem is happening. Understood. So when we assign the responsibilities of different cost centers to different person, so the person, firstly, the person is, they are like, if they will do anything that is wrong, that is not in favor of the firm, then they will be responsible for that and they will have to pay for it. Okay. So this will happen. But if no responsibility is given to anyone, no cost centers are there, so what will happen? The people will start pointing out others. No, no, no. This happened not because of me. This person is responsible for that. Okay, so we will not be able to point out exactly why this is happening and who is responsible for that. That's why cost centers are very important. The next thing is product. This I think I have discussed what is production cost center and service cost center. Still, so all those services, okay, means the cost which we are incurring to provide different service. This is called service cost centers, and to produce something, the cost which we are incurring is called the production cost center. Just like for painting, assembling, packaging, these are the production cost centers. Okay, so these are directly involved with the production of the product, while the other things such as when we are providing service to the personal administrative centers are there. So when the amount of cost we are incurring to maintain these centers are called service cost center. So this was all about the costings. Now the next thing is quite important. It is important from the viewpoint of your examination. Last year, I saw that this question came for 5 marks. Okay, last year same question आया था, the difference between financial accounting and cost accounting, and it was of 5 marks. So before explaining what is the difference between these two, firstly I would like to explain what exactly is financial accounting. So you know uh, the the term accounting simply means to manage the financial transactions, to not to estimate something but to record, to classify, just like we record that yes, this much transaction took place. So suppose we have sold something to Mr. A, that we will record. We have bought something from Mr. B, we will record it. So we have took a loan, that we will record. We have bought an asset, that we will record. We have spent this much on advertising, we will record. So all the transactions that takes place in monetary term, okay, that we will record, and that is simply called a financial accounting. So what we do in financial accounting, we estimate, not estimate, sorry, we actually classify firstly what kind of transaction is it, we record it, then we actually calculate how much profit we have earned in this entire year, then how much we how much expenses we have incurred. So what is revenue, what is expenses, how much is the profit, how much is the loss, how much is the balance of assets, and how much is the balance of liabilities. These we calculate in financial accounting. And cost accounting is a part of financial accounting. Cost accounting is a part of financial accounting. It is also a kind of recording, but only that things which we have incurred to produce something. Okay, so amount we have incurred to produce something. So the cost, only when we record and classify the cost of producing something, then it is called cost accounting. While in financial accounting, we don't only record the costing things, the things that are related to the production of something. Mainly you will find that in manufacturing units they maintain the cost accounting, while in any kind of business, whether it is a sole proprietorship business or it is a partnership business or it is any kind of business, even though the manufacturing sectors also they maintain their financial accountings. So everywhere you will find that they prepare a financial accounting. So this is a simple meaning of financial accounting. Now we will discuss the difference between these two. See, the main purpose of it is to prepare the income statement, position statement, which I just mentioned, that it is prepared to estimate how much is the asset of the company by the end of year, how much is the assets, how much is the liabilities, and how much profit we have earned, how much revenue we have generated, how much is the turnover. There are many things. There are many things in financial accounting. It is a very vast topic, and the main purpose of it is to uh, ascertain the cost of something and to decide the price of something, to decide the profit, okay, to estimate the profit. This is the actual purpose of preparing the cost accounting. It is related with historical data. So financial accounting, in financial accounting what will happen, suppose uh, the year started from 1st January. Usually it doesn't start from 1st January. The financial year starts from 1st of April. So whatever transaction are taking place, we are continuously writing it down. We are continuously recording it. Okay, and finally, after 31st March or on 31st March, we will prepare a balance sheet, we will prepare a PL account and all these to understand how much exactly are the asset, liability, profit, loss and everything. So here you can see when they are preparing the balance sheet, they are preparing the PL and all that. So all these things are already happened. Okay, all these transactions are already happened. So they are using the historical data, not the data, not the present data, or they are not forecasting something जो कि future से related है. They are only preparing their accounting on the basis of historical data. But this is not the case with the cost accounting. What happens in cost accounting? They, yes, they actually use the historical data. For example, suppose we have bought something, uh, for manufacturing. So we have bought some raw materials. So this is a historical record. But suppose we have cracked a deal with someone that in future we will buy something. So this is the data which is not historical. And there is one more thing. Here we estimate something. Okay. Actually what happens, the cost most of the time fluctuates. Understood. In case of financial accounting, what happens if someone bought something, okay, today the person bought something for rupees 100 and the next day if the price will increase, so ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मैं उस पर्सन से जाऊंगी बोलूंगी नो प्लीज गिव मी 10 रुपीज बिकॉज आज प्राइस बढ़ गया, बिकॉज ये ऑलरेडी दिस हैपेंड. बट इसमें ना ऐसा नहीं होता है. In case of cost accounting, it not only depend on the historical data, but there are some figures we determine. It's kind of a budget we prepare. So we have to buy the resources, or we have to spend at least means maximum 100 rupees to prepare a particular product. So this is a predetermined figure, not only historical record, but They also predetermine some amount that we have to work within this amount. We have to cut the cost. So suppose we have only 100 rupees and we have to manage. So this is called predetermined figure and they use it. Next is okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 differences are left. So